Okay, this is just after segmenting that last video. I ended it and now I'm starting again. What do I think of J.K. Rowling? I think feminists are rightly skeptical of what's being done with transgenderism, feminizing the males, and allowing feminized males to be able to pass for women because of their voice and the look and the texture of their body and the distribution of the softness of their body is allowing them to be disguised as women, and that is a danger, eroding the trust that women rightly have in society, that the female gender should have in society, that males disguised as females are eroding the trust. And that's a legitimate skepticism for J.K. Rowling to have that. I don't like her attitude, but I don't throw out her skepticism, and I've been skeptical of the intentions of those who are promoting feminizing the males, because they're choosing the wrong ones. They shouldn't be saying the thing. Their doctrine is wrong. Okay, they have the wrong doctrine, and psychiatry is wrong. It's wrong to say that they will be happy. Maybe they will, or probably not. If they look really good and they could have had many wives, well, they're going to revert from being a transgender. If they can, they're going to revert. And I think they're reducing the prices on androgel. That'll make it less difficult, but they still have to have maybe have a cosmetic surgeon remove their enlarged breasts. That's a problem for them, and they might be, after they get strong and lose weight, they might have a lot of loose skin around their body. It's kind of grisly to think about the consequences of what might happen to them in the future. I think they'll just be obese, and that will disguise some of the way that the hormone distorted their shape from what the male shape they were supposed to have. If they look really good, they should have had wives instead of being disguised as a woman through drug treatment. So I never was much of I was always sort of skeptical of the intentions of the people who are doing the transgender, who are in control of the transgender. They're making it sort of a game for their own advantage, I think, for their own social engineering advantages. And I think I said this in the last video, the below average males are the ones who should be feminized, but I don't think they have enough feminizing drugs to do it on the scale that it ought to be done. Millions of them, millions and millions of them should be transgender, because they're below average, not the ones who are above average. And I saw some good-looking faces in Walmart, and I said, oh, isn't that a charming-looking African face? And I thought it was a woman, but I thought, well, with gold teeth, well, he's probably a male, with a nice big mouth and a good jaw, but not a prominent chin, but a good long jaw. Anyway, you see that sometimes where an African-American man might have a good jaw like an ape, but he doesn't have a pointy chin. So he's got sort of a receding chin on a big jaw and a good-looking mouth. And I thought, well, isn't that unfortunate that he's a transgender? He's not tall, but he's got a good-looking mouth and a good-looking nose and eyes. And couldn't he have had at least 2 children? Yeah. And then another one, well, I would say not so good-looking, but still, give him time, okay, to earn social credit, and maybe he can revert from transgenderism, and maybe he will have a mature personality, and he'll maybe have one child, maybe, if he's lucky. I don't know. I'm not the judge of all the people, but I'm just saying my opinion is that an African face isn't inherently bad. He might have good teeth, but anyway, if he has good luck and maybe develops a good personality and good social credit over the years, maybe by the time he reaches my age, he might find a woman to have one child with him, who's a woman who's got a long pointy nose and she's small and has a good pointy chin and a long pointy nose, and she's small and being overlooked, and then maybe he can breed with her or something like that. And when he gets older, he's probably going to have a long road ahead of him of being transgender, I guess, because I thought, he doesn't. The other one that I looked at had a much better looking mouth. And then there's the spectacularly attractive feminized males who are tall and beautiful and way above average, and I've seen one that looks better than Donald Trump when he was a young man. And I've seen two, one was not a feminized male, and I said, hey, there's a girl, she's kind of like Rapunzel. I was trying to tell him that. I told one of his colleagues, and I wanted to tell him that. I think I tried to tell him that, and he says, I'm going to join the army like my father. Kind of a pointless idea for him to do. Maybe he could get good rank, but he had a big, strong, young, blonde man with big, wide shoulders and big hands and big jaw, and everything about him was just slightly better than Donald Trump as a young man, and he was like over 6 foot tall, and then his emotions. See, there's a lot of white men whose emotions are in a dismal state because of the beleaguered state of the white race, because they chose to take Australia and New Zealand when they should have put all their eggs in the basket of North America to make NATO strong. The British said, we hate the USA. Oh, we hate it. We're going to Australia, and we're going to New Zealand, and we're going to live on this island and forever with we're going to have these islands for ourselves forever, this continent of Australia. Well, maybe that's not such a good gamble, and they should have all come to North America to help make the USA stronger. And they kept sailing around Africa, and the Africans kept saying, oh, you have to pay some kind of compensation to us for using our territory for your port facilities to restock your ships, and you have to sort of pay some taxes to Africa. And what do you? The British said, what do you want? And the Africans would say, bring us to America, bring us to America, and bring us to London, and bring us to Paris, and especially bring us to North America. And so the British sailing around Africa long after America was discovered, the British should have done like the Spanish did. The Spanish abandoned Asia and concentrated on the Americas, and the Spanish filled up Central America and South America. Much smarter than the British, who said, we hate it, we hate the USA, we're going to go to Australia. So white men are beleaguered and stressed out all over the world, failing to compete as well as the Chinese, Koreans, and Japanese in industry. So white men are very frustrated, defensive, and angry because of being distributed all over the world, and the fear of losing territory to encroachment of other races, because they didn't consolidate in one location. And so there's a lot of fear and anger among the white men. They're very irrational, and they're very lucky that they have the statements of such a clear thinker, because I have the identity of a white person because of my large brain. Only the white Northern Europeans have such a large brain as I have. And so they're lucky that they have my objective statements to help guide them, because they're very irrational in their panic, and with all of the trends of greater than ever racial competition on the global level. And they're bad leaders. Bush and Trump and Emperor Charles in London and the father of Emperor Charles in London. And they're actually part Jewish, and they don't have the white Northern European attitude that I have. that I'm looking at the white Northern Europeans as closest to my match to myself genetically, even though I have a very small fraction of African heritage. It's what sets me apart is my huge English cranium, my large frontal cortex. It's a big English brain, Northern European. And that's what is most distinctive about me, and that's how I'm carrying myself through difficult times, is with the sheer cognitive advantages of my large brain. So that's why have been a strategic thinker on behalf of the white race, because I have no other idea of finding sanctuary among other races other than the white race. But lately I've been getting more sympathy from Africans because they've seen how badly insulted I've been, disparaged and insulted because of having a fraction of African people can see on my face. So anyway, I've got a little sympathy from Africans lately, but it's not much, and they're still disingenuous because they're like, he's a wimp, he's a geek, he's a nerd, he's deficient, and he doesn't look handsome with his undersized jaw under his beard. He doesn't look handsome, and we think that's not what we want to show the world as a specimen of African heritage, because they're focused on athletics, and I'm not at all athletic after a terrible injury. And I guess this video has gotten too long already. I have to do another video, and I have to keep making. I have to know when to cut a video and not talk about too many things, because I don't have a video editor on this phone. This is one of the difficulties. They keep me in poverty, and all I have is this phone, when I wish I had a video editor and I could cut the videos and make a video compilation. I can't do that. So anyway, I'm going to end this video and make another.